art is everything, and everything is art. That's my general philosophy. Dr. Clarence Talley, Sr. I've been here at Prairie View since 1975, so we could equate that to be 48 years. Person I was trained as a painter, sculptor, printmaker, and I love to paint, but I also do a lot of mixed media works, the ones you were asking me about earlier. Mixed media work in a variety of mediums. But if you want to classify me, I guess you could say painting, and mostly acrylic painting. Basically, I was trained as a studio artist. So that's why you have the paintings, you have the sculpture, and prints, and what have you. And then if you look over my head there, you see my books, the literary arts. Because again, art is everything and everything is art. It's all tied together. So I see no line of demarcation between any of that. This last series of works I've done, like the one on the wall behind me, you'll see what you would call a slave ship in the center of that painting. And I wrote a piece entitled "We Came with Creativity," and I work in series, and that's one of my series where I've used the slave ship and what have you as the central element in my composition. That small one right there behind you, it's entitled "He Watches," and that has that huge eye in the center, and then you have that slave ship coming down. God is watching and watched over us as we came to this continent. If you go back to the third grade, that is over 60 years ago, and I was in the elementary school. His name was Donald Culberson, and he was drawing, he was sketching, and I was looking at what he was doing, and I just kept staring, and it just looked like it was so much magic involved, and it really sort of struck me, and that was it. It's kind of like I guess I could say a revelation. But through high school, I continued to do my art and continued to win competitions. And when I graduated, well, let me say this. I ran track in high school as well. Got to put that in there. Because the track was what got me the scholarship to go to Southern to study art. I wanted to go study with the famous sculptor by the name of Mr. Frank Hayton. He's deceased now. But when I was in high school, they were calling him the Black Michelangelo. And I was saying to myself, I got to study under Mr. Hayton. I came here on September the 15th, 1975, and I started teaching on the 16th. So I went on over to Southern University to visit the school again, went by my department head's office, and he was talking and what have you. He never said anything about Prairie View. I went down to the sculpture teacher's studio, and that was Mr. Hayden, and my department head was Gene Paul Hubbard. That was his name. And then Mr. Hayden said, yeah, we had a guy from Prairie View came by here. He said, Gene didn't tell you? I said, no, Mr. Hubbard didn't say anything. He said, well, go on back down there and ask him. I went on back down there, I asked Mr. Hubbard. Mr. Hubbard said, oh yeah, Sam Collins, yes, Sam, him and Dr. Collins, the one they named the building after on the back of the campus, they were friends. And he gave me Dr. Collins' number, and I got him on the phone, and I told him who I was, and I told him I knew Mr. Hubbard, and he had given me your number and all that. And then he said, well, we had a guy to come in and interview, and I'm not quite sure about him, but I tell you what, give me a couple of days and call me back. So I gave him a couple of days, and I called him back, and I could tell the way he answered the phone it wasn't going to happen. And so he got on the phone and said, well, the guy we interviewed decided to take the position. I said, well, I wanted to just check back to make sure, but I want you to know Prairie View is missing out on one of the greatest African-American artists in the country. That's what I told him. And he said, you sound very confident. I know you're going to succeed. And that was the end of our call. And went on back to doing what I was doing. And just so happened, one of my friends, about maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, went over to Southern, ran into Mr. Hubbard. And Mr. Hubbard was saying to him, where talent? The people at Prairie View looking for talent. And Mr. Hubbard didn't know where I lived, so my best buddy got in the car with him and drove him over to the LSU campus right there at the apartment I was staying in. And then we talked. He gave me that number. I took my little number, went on back out to it was a packing sack or something, kind of little grocery store where the phone was. And I dropped my thing and I got on the phone with him. And first thing Dr. Collins said, when can you get here? Excuse me. And that's how it all came together. And I came on in on the bus, and they dropped me off at the train station up at a little bus station up there, and rode on into Prairie View. I've been here ever since. So the Lord left that door open for me. And so I ended up here and been enjoying it ever since. And I have no, as I said in one of the articles I wrote, I have no regrets. Now my intent, if the Lord say the same, my intent is to put in 50. That's my intent. You never know what he has planned, but I've already asked him, and he haven't failed me yet. Everything I've asked for, I've gotten. So I'm just thankful that I've enjoyed every minute of it, because I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. And if you ask me, to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't worked a day since I've been here. This has just been fun. This is just something I do. And I tell the kids in class, I've always wanted to work at a predominantly black college, and so I can beat up on my people and help them. That was my desire. And so that's how it is handled.